Tropicana Field experienced a power surge last night as the Rays and Jays tied a Trop record, combining for 9 home runs. Kevin Pillar's blast in the 8th was the decisive blow in a 7-6 Toronto victory. Today, right-hander Alex Cobb returns from the disabled list as Tampa Bay looks for the series victory. This afternoon at Tropicana Field, the Rays try to snap a streak of 5 consecutive series losses as they wrap up this series and the homestand. The Rays take on the Blue Jays. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Well, a lot of home runs last night, 9 in this game. The Rays have refound some of their offense. They're hoping to carry that into this game here today and hoping that Alex Cobb, who comes off the DL, can stop the Toronto offense.
Well, definitely here in the last 4 games, the bats have woken up. They've scored at least 6 runs 3 different times, and they've done it via the long ball. A lot of home runs for the Rays in the last 4 games. You just see averaging 5.3 runs a game. They've hit 10 home runs. The thing that you really like about that number is the 10 home runs have been hit by 6 different hitters. So you got a lot of different guys chipping in. They're not just relying on 1 or 2 guys. By the way, Wilson Ramos red hot right now. 5 straight multi-hit games for him. Kevin Kiermaier 3 home runs in the last 4 games. A lot of guys getting it done. So you hope that that is a trend that continues. And for Alex Cobb, here he goes up against the Blue Jays. This is a big game for the Rays trying to win this series. Activated from the disabled list. These are his career numbers against the Blue Jays. The ERA very good. But if you go back to May 7th this year, his only start against this team, he went 8 strong innings, giving up just 2 earned runs. The Rays would love anything approaching that this afternoon.
With the offensive resurgence, you have to think that Kevin Kiermaier's return has had something to do about that. He has had a major impact since coming off the DL. Alex Cordry has more when we return.
missing over 2 months with a fractured right hip. Kevin Kiermaier is making up for lost time in a big way. He's looking like he's never missed a beat, and he's hit safely in all 5 games since his return from the DL. Well, in yesterday's game, it marked the 2nd time in his career that he had a multi-home run game, which tied season's high with 3 hits and reaching base 4 times. In the loss, Kiermaier going deep twice played a significant role in getting the Rays back in the game after falling into an early lead. But he's not worried about what he's putting together offensively.
I mean, nothing's really surprising about KK. It's, we've got to see him play now for 3 years and know he's a special player, and he's just like anybody else. When he's seeing the ball well, a lot of good things can come. I mean, the power, he normally hovers around that 10 to 15 home run per year. He's there with basically missing a half season. Tonight, he got a hold of both balls. Those were pretty impressive shots, but certainly don't think he's looking to hit the ball at the ballpark. I think he's going up there looking to put a good swing and get a good pitch, and he's having some really, really good results.
Kiermaier and the Rays are ready for some day baseball. Game 3 of the Rays and Jays is swinging your way as we get set to put a stamp on the final game of the season between these 2 teams. Fox Sports is back with the first pitch next, so stay with us. Let's go.
Off the disabled list and to the mound, Alex Cobb making his 24th start of the year for the Rays here this afternoon against the Toronto Blue Jays. And we'll take a look at the Toronto lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Steve Pearce leads it off. He'll be in left, followed by that gentleman right there, Josh Donaldson, playing third. Justin Smoke will hit third and play first. Jose Bautista in the cleanup spot. The DH is Kendrys Morales. Kevin Pillar, who ultimately decided last night's game, will be in center field, hitting in front of Miguel Montero. Ryan Goins, a shortstop, hits eighth. Darwin Barney in the lineup at second base, hitting ninth.
Now taking the mound this afternoon, making his return from the disabled, is going to be right-hander Alex Cobb, making that 24th start of the season. It's been 19 days that he has been out since his last start. That was against Milwaukee, where he gave up 1 earned run in 6 innings. Was out with a right big toe, turf toe situation. You know, Dwayne, those can be tricky injuries, but he assures everybody he's back 100% and ready to go to battle today against those Blue Jays.
Well, the Rays happy to have him out there on the mound as they try to win a series.
Yes, they haven't done that in a while either. And let's look at the defense that's going to give them some help here this afternoon. Brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, Dickerson, Kiermaier, Souza Jr. Across that infield, third to first, Longoria, Robertson, Miller, and Duda. Jesus Sucre gets the call behind the dish.
So Cobb all set to go to work. Jim Reynolds will be calling the balls and strikes, the crew chief. Brian Knight at first, Chad Fairchild second, and Lance Barrett down at third base. Well, here's Steve Pearce in the leadoff spot for the second straight day. And the first pitch, that's in there for a strike. Fastball from Alex Cobb to begin this one. It's down a bit. 1-1. Pierce had a double and a home run last night. Well, what a game that turned out to be. 23 hits, 9 home runs. Swings through the high fastball.
Got tied up with the fastball in, and the one thing that Alex Cobb is not afraid to do is to pitch in. Against righties, lefties, it doesn't matter. As long as you get it to a good spot, you're going to be okay, and that was a great spot.
Now 2-2. You can see Cobb when he's right and that fastball's up. He's got a little movement on it up there. A little run to it.
That's it. That arm side run. It doesn't have to be a ton, just a little bit. You know, you're trying to get that ball off the barrel anyway. And by coming in there, it appears like it's on the corner. All of a sudden the guy swings and it's either on their thumbs or they swing through it.
Now a full count to the first man he faces. Donaldson on deck. Popped up, foul ball, and headed toward the stands. Back over the screen. So we'll do that again. John Gibbons, the manager of this Toronto ball club. Blue Jays 6 under 500. And a line drive right back into center over Miller's head, and Kiermaier returns it to the infield. So Pierce on the 3-2 fastball is aboard with a base hit.
You see a lot of pitches in an at-bat against a former teammate, no less. And you start to get a little comfortable, and that ball ends up, you see that little arm side run, took it right back to the middle of the plate. And even though Brad Miller is positioned nicely, this ball hit just a little bit too high for him to get to, and the leadoff man is on.
Well, here's Josh Donaldson with Pierce aboard. Donaldson now with 21 home runs, including another one against the Rays last night. 1 ball, no strikes. Boy, what a run he has been on. Swinging the bats against the Rays the way he has. 22 home runs, came in last night with 21 and hit one his first time up. And the Florida lottery jackpot stats. 8 home runs in 12 games against the Rays.
And what did you say, 22?
22
on the season?
overall, yep.
He's hit 6 in the last 6 games. You know, this is one of those pitching staffs that very rarely is going to be bullied by any one hitter, but Josh Donaldson, last couple of series, has done just that.
Check swing, foul ball. 2-1. I mean, you look at the matchups, as we frequently do, hitters against starting pitchers. And from the Rays' perspective, you almost hate to say it, but Donaldson has never hit a home run off Cobb. Now, if Cobb can survive that, then good things might be in store for the Rays. He is 4 for 16 with a double off him. A 2-1 count. Up and in as Donaldson started to wade into that pitch, and now it's 3-1.
Yeah, Alex Cobb just trying to come in there to keep Josh Donaldson from getting those arms extended. Kind of like he tried to do with Steve Pearson, but that one runs up, and with Donaldson leaning, all of a sudden you're bringing your head closer to the baseball, and doesn't look very good.
And it's popped up. Sucre right behind the plate makes the catch, and Donaldson is out number 1. Almost straight up, just a few feet back of the plate.
But there is nothing that tweaks a power hitter's attitude, I guess you could say, demeanor, than to get a fastball and a fastball count and pop it up in foul territory. This will drive them crazy. Josh Donaldson, not a very happy man right now.
So 1 away with a runner at first, and here is Justin Smoke. Smoke with 34 home runs. He connected in the 5th inning last night. That breaking ball to start him, that's over for a strike.
See that quite a bit from Alex. Good curveball. We've seen him develop that pitch all season long, from a pitch like that, a get me over early in the count for strike 1, to a pitch that he can put you away with. See it a lot early against lefties.
And the foul ball puts Smoke down on the count, 0-2. I mean, you see some of the matchups with these Blue Jay hitters against Cobb, particularly leading off here. Pierce 2 for 10 coming into the game. Donaldson 4 for 16. Smoke's 0 for 11 against him. And Bautista behind him 3 for 15. Shift on for Smoke, hitting left-handed, and he is still up there. Just a little piece of that one. He was out in front a little bit, and just enough on that curveball to stay alive. And
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah,
that wasn't even close. That pitch right there looks closer. The last view, it ball looked clearly under the bat. Well, you know what's going to be interesting to watch here this afternoon with these hitters that you mentioned against Cobb is, for the most part, outside of that one start in May, they're seeing a completely different version of Alex Cobb. The split changeup not leading the way anymore.
Now ball, 2 strikes, and there was one. One on, one out, a 1-2 count to Smoke. Ground ball foul to the first base coaching box. Still the ball, 2 strikes. Cobb starts the day coming off the disabled list, looking for his 10th win of the year. 9-8 coming in. And that one, he thought he had the corner there, and it's called the ball by Jim Reynolds.
Everybody in the building, I think Justin Smoke was anticipating that call. That is a perfect fastball. This should have absolutely closed out the at bat. That's strike 3. I'm sorry. That's not even negotiable. Well, that's 2 misses in this at bat. Clear misses.
He would have been out on strikes on either one.
Yeah. How many times you got to strike this guy out?
And the count is full. Pearson, one away. Now the count full on Smoke. And a swing and a miss this time. Strike 5, and he's out.
Did you see everybody pause?
Yep.
Are we sure? Are we sure this time that we got him? There's the good breaking ball right there, and Justin Smoke, I'd say clearly missed it, but that time he really clearly missed it.
So 2 outs with a runner at first. Jose Bautista will be the hitter. Fouls a fastball, strike 1. Outside step throw to first, and back in is Pierce. Jesus Sucre going down there, going behind the runner.
Got to be careful in your secondary leads. A lot of these catchers, they like to snap throw back down to first base, and Steve Pierce, you know that he wants to be aggressive with that secondary lead with 2 outs.
2-1. Cobb is behind Bautista. 3 balls and a strike. 3-3. Cobb against the Blue Jays over 7 career starts. Faced him back in early May here and lost 2 runs in 8 innings, and Darwin Barney hit a home run off him. Big cut 3-1 on the fastball, and Bautista let it loose there. 3-1.
How many times have you seen here in years past pitchers openly challenge Bautista out over the plate like that, down in hitters counts? First pitch of the game, or first pitch of the at bat, 3-1 fastball out, and get away with it. Bat speed, the quick twitch, not quite there right now for Bautista, and pitchers are not afraid to go out there against him.
3-2, and there is strike 3 call. A man left, 2 strikeouts in the inning. No scores. We go to the Rays half of the first. Kevin Kiermaier will lead it off when we come back. Out of the Rays half of the first inning. Tom Kohler, a right-hander on the hill, making his first start for the Blue Jays. And here's the lineup for the Rays, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Kevin Kiermaier, Lucas Duda, and Evan Longoria. Logan Morrison, Steven Souza Jr., and Corey Dickerson, the heart of the lineup, followed by Jesus Sucre, then Brad Miller and Daniel Robertson.
Well, taking the mound this afternoon for the Toronto Blue Jays, right-hander Tom Kohler. You see what he did with the Marlins. 12 starts, a 1-5 record, ERA 7.92 in 55 2/3 innings.
So here's Kevin Kiermaier, now hitting .276, coming off the 2-home-run performance last night. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 home runs, a walk, a steal, 3 runs batted in, and 3 runs scored for Kiermaier last night. He fouls it straight back out of play. 1-1. Fouled back a third and headed for the stands. And a nice grab down there. 1-2. It's upstairs. Kohler 9-13 a year ago in the National League with a .433. A cut and a miss. Kiermaier down on strikes.
Boy, nasty curve there by Kohler to pick up out #1 of this ball game. Let's take a look at the defense lining up behind him. Brought to you by Golden Diamond Source in the outfield left to right. Pierce, Pilar, Bautista across that infield. Third to first. Donaldson, Goins, Barney, and Smoke. Miguel Montero back behind the plate.
2 right-handers here today who will feature that knuckle curve, their variation of that pitch, and normally a lot of downward movement on it.
Well, you increase the spin. You know, when you throw a traditional 2-fingered, index finger and middle finger curveball, that ball has to roll over 2 fingers before it starts its downward tilt. But boy, you throw a knuckle curve, you take one of those fingers off, the index finger comes off. So now it's just thumb, middle finger holding that baseball. And now as you spin it with the index finger not there, it can jump over that middle finger and create really tight down spin. And it's tougher to control, but boy, does it get results.
2-1 the count to Duda. He had faced Kohler quite a bit over in the National League. Duda just 3 for 27 against him. But he's drawn 8 walks in his matchups with the veteran right-hander. It's popped foul and will carry out a play, taking the count to 2-2. Jays have the shift on for Duda. And the fastball misses inside. 3-2 now.
Everybody piled up on the right side, and you've got Darwin Barney back there deep into shallow right field.
Duda tried to check, but he is out on strikes on the curveball, so back-to-back strikeouts with that breaking pitch.
Yeah, early returns on this pitch, and you see that knuckle allowing that ball to rip over that middle finger, and he creates some tight spin, some good downward action. And the first 2 that he's featured here in this ball game with 2 strikes have been extremely nasty. So see these Rays starting to try to attack Kohler a little bit earlier in the count if you're going to have to contend with that pitch.
Now Evan Longoria, base is empty and 2 gone. And a foul ball On that first pitch fastball straight back into the upper deck.
I'll tell you what we've seen from Kohler, I know we're just 3 hitters into this ball game. We've seen fastball 93, 95, and a nasty down curve. Kind of belie the numbers that we threw out there at you with an ERA approaching 8. I guess sometimes just getting out of South Florida is...
Well, it's certainly a fresh start for him in Toronto.
Echeverria, same thing. Able to escape, then you go on to bigger and better things.
There's a ground ball and a base hit just out of the reach of Barney. And Longoria with a base hit. So Evans aboard. Got Logan Morrison up there.
See how he lets that ball get into the zone. Doesn't try to do too much and doesn't try to pull it. We see that a lot from him. He picks his spots against certain pitchers, certain counts and situations, but he is not afraid to take the ball the other way.
Well, and he's taken the ball to center and the other way quite a bit.
Yeah, how about that? Those are great numbers for a power guy in the middle of your lineup to be able to use the field like that.
Logan Morrison, that pitch a little tight, fastball in. Swing and a miss, snapped down to first by Montero. 1-1. One and one. Upstairs, 2-1. Over to first, Longoria. The base runner with a 2-out single. And that's going to even the count at 2-2. Alex Cobb against Tom Kohler in the matchup game. Final game of the series. High fly ball into right. Bautista is there and makes the catch. So a man left after the 2-out single. Onto the second, no score. Rays baseball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by your local Ford dealers and by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Alex Cobb on the hill for the Rays. Pitch to Morales. 1 ball, no strikes. Morales, Pilar, and Montero. It's foul right back, 1-1. High pop. That's going to be a foul ball. Headed out of play. Morales at 245 on the year. A couple of singles in last night's game. The Rays have held his power in check. 3 singles in this series so far. Checked in time on the pitch down. It's 2-2. And now 3-2. Well, every hitter up has had at least a 3-ball count. Cobb makes his first start coming off the disabled list.
And that's what you don't want to see, because you just wonder what he's going to be allowed as far as pitch count goes. I'm sure it's going to be pretty close to normal, but you don't want to build that thing up so early.
And strike 3 call. Oh, that fastball right on the corner. And that's 3 consecutive strikeouts. You know, he got smoke with a 3-2 breaking ball, swinging, and then called 3rd strikes on Bautista and Morales. Morales caught looking there. Bautista threw the ball by him.
Right down the middle.
Yep.
But you see that pitch, you know, right there to Morales, and we've seen it here during the course of this early part of this game, pitching in.
Pilar fouls one back, strike 1.
I see so many pitchers now that are reluctant to pitch in. They don't trust themselves pitching in, whether that's because they're afraid they're going to hit the guy or they're afraid they're going to leave it out over the plate. They just don't trust themselves. Here he's going to do it again. Alex Cobb is like, I'm going to bury this ball in on righties, in on lefties, and I'm not going to be afraid to do it.
Well, you have to have a lot of confidence to do that, and he does.
And all it is just work down in the pen. You know, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, have a guy stand in. They've got plastic batters you can have there. Stand them in and get comfortable burying that ball in. It opens up the whole plate. I don't know why. I don't know how badly he missed in right there. But pitching in opens up the plate. It allows for a bigger margin for error of mistakes that are away, that are over the plate. Because a hitter does not want to get beat with a fastball in, and you make him aware of that pitch, and it opens up the outer part of the plate for sure. And it makes pitching, which is not easy to do, a little bit easier.
It's a little tap foul. You know, it's interesting that there have been a lot of discussions about that, and there was a time when pitching in, there was more emotion involved. Well, how about this little conversation between Reynolds and Cobb? Now, that's a conversation. It would be very interesting to see the exchange, hear the exchange there. And maybe it was nothing more than, I don't know, if Sucre was a little uncomfortable there for a moment behind the plate, and they took some time for that, or if it was something else.
You have to ask him after the game,
Yeah,
because that's a strange. The timing is very strange.
And a popper right side back of first. Duda near the stands and runs out of room. So the count is still 2-2. Pierce opened the game with a base hit in the first. Cobb got Donaldson, Smoke, and Bautista. Morales on strikes here in the second. 2-2 to Pilar. And that is strike three. Pilar tried to check. Strike. Jim Reynolds says he went around. Pilar heads back to the dugout.
That pitch this afternoon is going to test the discipline and the patience of this Blue Jay lineup, because Alex Cobb, as we've seen, not afraid to pitch in, not afraid to bounce that curveball with these catchers that the Rays have back behind the plate. So you're going to have to be very disciplined to not chase that pitch, and you're going to have to be very patient to try to wait for a pitch out over, and he's going to test both of those facets all day.
Miguel Montero, the catcher. And that pitch stayed wide, the curveball. 1-0. Comes back with it again and misses. A little down this time.
What's the curveball to changeup ratio here this afternoon? 15-1?
I would think so. Yeah.
I can remember one of the split change.
Yep.
I think that was to Smoke between the third and fourth strikeout.
There's a strike. Now 2-1. Got the fastball in for the strike.
I'll tell you something else it does is pitching in as much as he has. Not only does it open up the outer part of the plate, but it sends a message early in a game. And then it allows you later to maybe stay away from these guys. They're still maybe anticipating that fastball in. I just don't understand why more guys don't do that, don't work on it. I think a lot of it too comes from front offices, where they look at that pitch as that's a high risk, high reward pitch, and they don't want to get beat middle in.
A high popper foul. Well, there's no question. I think that when you look at that pitch down and away, that's the high percentage pitch from a pitcher's perspective.
Sure.
Because of just what you point out, the risk factor of pitching in.
Do you know
but
how
over time, it's that mix that would allow you to be successful?
I think sometimes you're right. They look at that pitch in a vacuum and assume if you can just go down and away all the time, that's the highest risk or highest reward and lowest risk pitch. And you know, you may be absolutely right. The thing is,
Dickerson going to take care of this, and we'll talk about what the thing is when we come back. No score.
let's go back to last night in Pittsburgh. And right here, Josh Bell, bottom of the 8th, the play of the game. And up to that point, Chase Utley fully extended, makes that play for the first out. Then you go to the bottom of the 9th, and here's a ground ball that Logan Forsythe gets his footwork a little bit crossed up. And there's the air. That would do away with the perfect game. We still have a no-hitter, though, going into the bottom of the 10th inning. And the leadoff man, Josh Harrison, able to lift that ball out to the first row. A walk-off, a home run to win the ball game. And, boy, poor Rich Hill. 9 no-hit innings. And the first batter he faces in the bottom of the 10th, he went out in the bottom of the 10th because he only had 95 pitches, and Harrison got him.
Well, there's Steven Souza Jr. trying to bunt. He does so foul on that Logan Forsythe error. That was the first time in Major League history a bid for a perfect game was broken up in the 9th inning by an error. How about that? The first time. Yeah, and it's something that he's not going to feel very good about for a long time.
No. And one of the more sure-handed guys that we've had the pleasure of watching play.
Yep.
It just, when you go back and you look at that video and in slow motion, you can see the footwork is all messed up as he's going for that ball, and he didn't put himself in very good position, and that's why the error occurred.
Now 2 strikes the count to Steven Souza Jr. Yeah, Harrison with that home run. He also had broken up a no-hit bid by Justin Verlander with 2 outs in the 9th back in 2012. So a couple of oddities there surrounding that event last night. 2-2 the count. Dickerson is on deck. Souza at the plate. Three and 2. Rays facing Tom Kohler, 31-year-old right-hander. And there is ball 4. Fastball stayed in. So the leadoff man aboard. Reserve your 2018 Rays season tickets today and secure the biggest savings and the best seat locations, along with exclusive events all season. Join the action and get access to 2017 postseason ticket packages. Visit RaysBaseball.com/season tickets today. Here's Corey Dickerson. Dickerson takes it up and away. 1-0. Well, the Rays got a 2-out single in the first by Longoria. Now a leadoff walk to Souza Jr. The fastball. Dickerson goes out of the zone up after that.
Tom Kohler's able to create a little bit of deception. He's got a pretty herky-jerky delivery. Starts off smooth enough, and then there's that jerking motion and kind of slings the ball towards home plate. We've seen gets plenty of velocity on the heater and the curveball. Obviously, the break has been tremendous here early part of this game.
Over to first. Souza back in. A couple of things with Dickerson at the plate. He's 3 of 6 in his career against Tom Kohler. And there is some thought by some fans who follow the Rays. They've broken Dickerson's season down into not first half, second half, but white batting gloves and yellow batting gloves. And the batting gloves with the yellow are the good batting gloves, and the straight white batting gloves not so good. So we'll see how that breaks out.
Whatever it takes.
Yep.
I mean, whether it's mental or not, good looking shoes, feel good undershorts, whatever it is.
So he's got the yellow gloves out now.
Yeah. What's the sample size?
And he pops it up. Well, with urban legends, you don't even go to sample size.
Well, no, I mean, like how long do we give him now going forward before he sets?
Before we make a determination?
Yeah, give him a little while, I guess.
Yeah. But there's a general impression that he's been a much better hitter wearing the yellow batting gloves versus the plain white batting gloves.
We'll see. Segment of the Rays fan base that need to look at the want ads for work. Way too much time on their hands.
A little tap to the right side. Smoke down to second. They'll get the force on the lead runner, Souza. And Dickerson reaches base, but on the fielder's choice. He's aboard with 1 out.
Did they throw out any specific numbers?
No, I haven't heard the numbers. I didn't get a chance to have a prolonged conversation. That's something we might have to investigate.
Then
see what the numbers are.
Scurry back downstairs.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Listen, it's one more thing. Wayne, listen, they're teasers, and you just gave our fan base a teaser. Now they're all going to check.
Yeah.
Corey Dickerson comes to the plate. They're going to be looking for the batting glove color, and then what's the result?
Yeah.
And then over time, see if that plays itself out, and you give people something to look for, and they eat it up. They like that stuff.
Yeah, well, he's 0 for 1 today.
It's all right. It's early.
Aboard on the fielder's choice, so we'll see.
You'll have me looking for it now. I'm excited.
1-0 the count to Sucre. Ground ball. There's a base hit for Sucre. Through the hole and down to second goes Dickerson. 2 men on with 1 out in the Rays' second.
Just a fastball right down the middle, right around the belt. And Jesus Sucre rips that ball into left field. The Rays have a little something brewing here with 1 out.
I'd have to say that the Rays are more than pleased with the offensive side of Sucre's game. They knew when they brought him to camp, they had a pretty good idea what he could do behind the plate, and he's been everything they thought he would be. He's been very good. I think the offense is a little surprising.
He's shown some power. He's been great with runners in scoring position. You never feel when he comes to the plate, okay, this at bat's going to be quick, this inning's going to be over. He put a good at bat on you. He uses the middle of the field, and you're right. He has given the Rays everything they could have wanted this season and more. Much like our favorite reads, always the and more.
Like the and more part.
I do, because that leaves open a lot of possibilities.
Very optimistic, forward-looking. Foul ball out of play.
Very progressive.
And it's an 0-2 count.
It's a new buzzword.
Brad Miller behind in the count. Oh, look out. He is hit by that pitch and up and on his way to first. A fastball, 0-2 fastball, hits Brad Miller. And he says he's just fine. Boy, that's scary. The Rays going to take a look at him. Look at this.
Got it right in the back of the right shoulder. It glanced up and over the helmet. Looked like it was headed right for the helmet. Let's see. Shoulder blade, top of it. Yeah, right by the R in Miller is where it got him. Oh, and then it glanced off the side of the helmet, but at least it was a glance. Like a little skip. But Tom Kohler, how about that? 0-2, and you missed your spot by that much.
Shortstop, number 29, Daniel Robertson.
So the bases are loaded for the Rays. Dickerson goes to third, Sucre at second, Miller at first. Daniel Robertson getting a start at shortstop. Up in a key situation early for the Rays. First scoring opportunity for either club. And now the breaking ball in there for a strike. Into the dirt and blocked by Montero.
Boy, thankfully for Tom Kohler and the Blue Jays, Miguel Montero showing.
I mean, you look at the last 3 pitches.
Yeah, it's
so
tough.
He misses completely across the board to Miller, then throws a good first pitch breaking ball for a strike to Robertson, and then follows it up with that.
He bounces it in front of the left-hander's batter's box. Yeah, it's the command is leaking right now.
And a liner into left field. That's going to be caught. Pierce makes the grab. A tag at third, and Dickerson trots home with the first run of the game. So Robertson picks up the run batted in. His 18th of the year. Sacrifice fly to left field, and the Rays have a 1-0 lead. Now first and second, a run home with 2 outs. We'll go to the top of the lineup. Here's Kevin Kiermaier. And Kiermaier, a little chat with Jim Reynolds after the strike 1 call.
You can see where it was on Fox Tracks, and it did look like that curveball tracked off the plate away. Just kind of want to know what the zone is.
1-1. Pitch is down, 2-1. Swing and a miss. A curveball. 2-2. Lucas Duda on deck. And Kiermaier out on strikes. Came back with that pitch, strikes him out, and the Rays settle for 1 run, leading 1-0 through 2. The third. Race pledge packs available for a limited time, so get yours today. Pledge packs include a ticket voucher, autographed baseball, Kiermaier bobblehead, and a lot more. All proceeds benefit the Rays Baseball Foundation. Visit raysbaseball.com/pledge pack. Ryan Goins leads off here in the third. Which is a strike. Goins, then Darwin Barney and Steve Pearce. Foul ball, runs it to 0-2. Now the Rays started the day 4 games under 500 and 4 back of the second wild card spot with 34 games left to play. And that pitch just stayed in. 1-2. It's the breakout right there. Minnesota right now a half-game lead over Kansas City and the Angels for the second wild card spot. High fly ball down the right field line toward the corner, and Souza's there making the catch just as he makes contact with the wall. Just to the left of that 322 marker. So the long fly ball off the bat of Goins. And Souza got over there. He had quite a run to make.
Well, and he starts to right here get a beat on it, count his steps. Now he hustles up a little bit and makes that catch. Starting to sense that that wall is going to come into play. So you catch it, secure it, and then cover up.
Darwin Barney takes the first pitch a little wide. So nice catch out there by Souza Jr. covering the ground. And hanging on after making contact with the wall. That's a strike, 1-1. Bouncer foul. Cubs' other outing against the Blue Jays came here at the Trop back in the first week of May. And he lost that game 2-1. Gave up just 4 hits. The Rays had just 3. And a check to run the count to 2-2. Cub gave up an 8th inning home run to Darwin Barney, and that broke a 1-1 tie. Punches a base hit into center field off that 2-2 delivery. And the number 9 hitter is aboard.
It's a really nice job of Darwin Barney in the count, 2 strikes, and the curveball's been very good for Alex Cobb, but he stayed on it and used the middle of the field. That was his only shot there, and he took it and came through. You know, you go back, Dwayne, to what we were talking about last time Cobb was out there about using that pitch in. You know, and if you look at final results of pitches down and away, certainly it's going to say that's the place to go. But how do you get there? You know, and if you're only going to pitch middle away and down and away, do you know how perfect you'll have to be to get anything near those results? Because it doesn't take these hitters too long to realize, hey guys, he doesn't use the inner part of the plate, so go up there and dive and wear out right center field.
Yeah, and you've got a whole plate to use. Why only use half of it? You really limit yourself. And so the final point to make there is those good numbers down and away going to be good. Sort of naturally, but to make them really good, you have to go in once in a while.
Got to make them aware. It just makes things easier. It makes things easier, and it's not something. It's not something that is easy to do, because you talk to pitchers and they'll tell you when they're in a moment of being open and frank, I don't feel comfortable going in there. Right, but you got to make yourself comfortable going in there, because it's going to make your job. Right now, your job is hard. You're making it harder by not going in there from time to time and making guys aware. And so, Alex Cobb puts on a nice little demonstration here of being able to pitch into righties and lefties, which not a lot of guys can do.
And he gets a strike on the breaking pitch. It's 1-2 to Pierce. Over to first, and Barney to the backside of the bag gets in, and that's something Cobb can be very good about, with quick feet on that move to first.
Yeah, and I think that he got voted in that Tools edition of Baseball America of having the best pickoff move. He definitely has the best pickoff move from a right-hander we've seen this year. He's got a lot going for him.
2-2.
If you're going to have a good pickoff move as a right-handed pitcher, 3 things you have to have. You've got to have very quick feet, short arm action, and be accurate on your throw. And Alex Cobb checks the box in all 3.
Breaking ball tapped foul. 1 on with 1 out. Barney the base runner, Pierce the hitter. Josh Donaldson looms on deck. Upstairs, fastball, and we have another 3-ball count. It's 3-2. Seven 3-ball counts. He's faced 10 hitters so far. 3-2 on Pierce. Ground ball, that's going to go through to the left of Longoria. And Barney advances to second. So Pierce with his second hit. Well, that came close to being a double play ball.
Well, you had Evan Longoria diving to his left and Robertson trying to cover there to his right. And you had all those infielders on the left side, and that ball is just elusive enough to find its way into left field.
So trouble now with Josh Donaldson stepping in. Cobb went 3-1 with him, and then he popped up a foul ball just back of the plate, caught by Sucre. This one is fouled straight back, reaching the upper deck. Wrapping up the homestand. They'll be headed into St. Louis, then on to Kansas City and to the south side of Chicago. Toronto concluding a 6-game road trip. They're 1-4 on this current trip. That's a strike. 0-2. Blue Jays were swept by the Cubs and have split the first 2 games of this series. Donaldson stepping back in. Cobb's 0-2 into the dirt, blocked by Sucre. And now the two will get together. Justin Smoke on deck. Well, Donaldson turned in the big year last year. And for as hard as he swings, he'll see a lot of pitches. He can be patient. And last year, was very patient up there. And that's a strike on the outside corner. Donaldson stands there looking. He thought that was wide, and Jim Reynolds assures him it was on the corner.
Well, you know what? There's a byproduct. What has Alex Cobb done through the first at-bat and a half here tonight? Pitched Donaldson in. A number of good fastballs in. Then all of a sudden you spray one away. Look where the hips are. Hips are starting to open up, protecting in there. And all of a sudden, that's why that ball looks like it's so far away when clearly it's right there for strike three. That's how that pitch can help you out. You think back in the first at-bat, a 3-1 fastball in, pop up to the catcher.
Now Justin Smoke. The curveball drops low. Smoke went 3-2. And an 8-pitch at bat in the first before Cobb struck him out. He got him on the knuckle curve. 2 on, 2 out in the third. Strike at the knees. And this one popping away. The runners are going to advance. The curveball bounces away, and now both men are in scoring position. Barney to third, Pierce trailing into second.
And you don't see this very often, even though that ball is in the dirt and it's going to probably go against Alex Cobb as a wild pitch. Very rarely do you see a ball get away from Sucre like that. That hit the side of the catcher's mitt. It's going to bounce off here to the right, and he's not able to locate it in time. Usually very good at keeping those pitches right out in front.
Now the 2-1. Stays down in the same vicinity with the breaking ball. And that swing and miss runs the count to 2-2.
This is where, as a pitcher and as a catcher, you've got to remember. You think about Justin Smoke's first at bat. He did his best to lay off some of those pitches, finally succumbing to a curveball that bounced. He's having a lot of trouble recognizing that pitch and stick right with it.
Tries the fastball in and misses. So another full count.
Pitch count really starting to mount now. This will be pitch number 70, third inning.
Well, 3-2.
Now they just moved Evan Longoria from deep shortstop over closer to third base. Darwin Barney was taking some big liberties coming down this line here with nobody holding him on.
3-2 to Smoke. Chop right side. A nice hop for Miller. The underhanded toss. 2 men left in scoring position. Bottom of the third coming, 1-0 Rays. Baseball on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Brewers wrapping up this stay at home. The Blue Jays in town. Facing right-hander Tom Kohler. They picked up a run in the second inning off him. That's the only scoring so far in this game. Rays will have Lucas Duda, the number 2 hitter, to lead it off. He'll be followed by Longoria and then Morrison. Pitch is a strike.
I haven't seen a lot of that. The changeup here from Kohler. Starting to work your way through this lineup for the second time and try to give these hitters a little bit different look.
Pounding ball foul.
This ball game here in the early going has been a slow, deliberate slog. Not a lot of scoring, but we have seen a lot of pitches.
Bouncing away, it's 1-2. And when you look at the pitch count, Cobb made 26 in the first, 18 in the second, 26 in the third. Kohler 19 in the first and 24 in the second. So both pitchers well over their normal pitch count. It's popped up. Foul. Montero gives it a chase and will not have room, just on the foul side of the screen. And it's 1-2 still.
I had the glove up just in case, because that was really close. That ball actually came down almost against the screen until it hit a little railing down there. It's as close as you're going to see without the catcher being able to make a play.
And there is a strike called on a fastball, and he gets Duda looking and on strikes for the second time.
Well, he stays firm this time, and he's able to drive that fastball mid-90s right to the outer edge.
Evan Longoria singled his first time and takes the breaking ball on the first pitch for a strike. Kohler missed considerable amount of time this year with bursitis in his right shoulder. Spent a little time in New Orleans in the aftermath of all that. AAA level. It's a shot foul. 1-2. Takes the count to 2-2. Runs too close. Full count. Kohler 1-5 on the year. That win came back in April against the San Diego Padres. And Longoria draws the walk. Pitch off the plate, down and away. And the Rays got another base runner. They've had men on base in every inning, covering the first 3.
Number 7, Logan Morrison.
And here is Logan Morrison. Ball, no strikes. That's a strike, 1-1. Down the left side, that's going to be out of play. Rays got a run in the second when Robertson looked at a fly ball to left, scoring Corey Dickerson, and that's been it so far. Morrison down 1-2. 2-2. Two balls, two strikes. And a high popper on the right side. Smoke in foul territory. Morrison fouls out. Longoria is still at first after drawing the walk. Souza Jr. up here now. Only 7 home runs for Souza Jr. Fastball away and he fouls it. Here he's facing Tom Kohler. Jay Happ originally was listed as their starting pitcher. And the Marlins acquiring Tom Kohler. And so he steps in to get the start.
When did you find out that Tom Kohler was starting this game?
Just today when we came to the ballpark. How about you?
Oh, about an hour before the game.
Yeah.
Done all my work on Jay Happ. And by the way, it was pretty good work, as you can see. Didn't even get a chance to highlight it. And then show up at the ballpark and hear the change was made. Thought maybe the change was made this morning. Turns out it was yesterday afternoon, and nobody bothered to tell us.
Yep. So it's 1-2.
So surprised.
2-2. I think we all were. Left us in a vacuum. Longoria at first, 2 gone.
That's all right. We adjusted.
It's the name of the game.
You know what I mean?
Hey, it's a big time.
Late, you know, it's like cramming for that test last minute.
Yep.
Still come out smelling like a rose.
We all know what that's like. Full count now to Steven Souza Jr.
That wasn't much worse than that. You know, that last minute panicky cramming. I would think that does more harm than good. You confuse yourself.
Yeah, but think about all the stuff you crammed, and it's in time, close proximity to the exam, so you probably remember more.
Maybe, unless you start second guessing yourself.
3-2. Oh, strike 3 call. Souza Jr. flipped the bat away. Thought he might have drawn the walk, but he's called out on strikes. We're through 3. We'll take a look at that pitch as we go to break in this 1-0 Rays lead. Today's Unlimited Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. How about this? The Rays are headed to St. Louis for the weekend interleague play. And Yachty and T-Fam will be leading the charge for Players Weekend for the Cardinals against the Rays.
I love it, Dwayne. You're kicking it right off for us.
Just a little teaser right there.
See, you're all about the teasing today.
Yeah. Just can't wait for that. All the nicknames.
Yachty and T-Fan.
Nothing better than going into interleague play, a team that you've never seen for about 50 years, and now they're going to be known by their nicknames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there will be no late night, last minute cramming for the Cardinals. And Dwayne, right here, this is what we're going to deal with. Gritch, probably get Bowman, Mock. Let's see what else we got here.
MoMA.
Ooh, I like Tsunami.
Yeah. Cafe.
I like this one here. Good luck with that.
Walk's going to pitch one of those games.
Is he?
Yeah.
Do we get to talk in slang when we're during the broadcast?
I think we should.
We should.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they get to relax a little bit, so do we.
Yeah. You know, battery doesn't need to be battery. You know, the pitcher and the catcher, that can be the bat.
Oh, yeah.
Be Walking Yachty, the bat.
Are you going to change the way you talk too? Because you threw a little bit of an accent on there. You are the most woke play-by-play guy in the game.
And you're the most woke analyst.
No.
I mean, you are woke when it comes to all the analysts.
See, there you go again with the voice.
Your middle name is woke.
See what this game's done to us.
3-2, broken bat, and out from shortstop goes Robertson to take care of that. And Bautista is out. Nice little play by Robertson. How about that bat? Look at that.
That thing got absolutely splintered. Well, you know, again, full count. Here comes Alex Cobb. I tell you, he's just not afraid to go in there. And he got that way in there. You see that bat's destroyed. You're left with a sword.
Well, that's the first out. It came out a 3-2 count. It's had 9 3-ball counts, 9 of 13 hitters.
I was going to say this feels like a mandatory 3-ball count type of game for both guys. A lot of pitches. Hitters are seeing a little bit of everything.
1 ball, 1 strike. And a little tapper halfway to the mound. And Cobb throws out Morales. So with 2 gone, no nicknames here. We're going to check in right now with Alex Cordry. Alex?
Dwayne VA, I'm going to try to be woke for this hit listening to you all. You all are cray-cray right now. All right, let's reel it back in. Well, it is Players Weekend. Take a look at what they're going to be wearing starting tomorrow night. And for Friday night starter Jake Odorizzi, he's really excited. No surprise here. His nickname is Odo. But more important for him, he has a chance to pitch in front of all his family and friends. He grew up 30 miles away from Busch Stadium. This is going to be a homecoming for him. And his biggest memory is going to Game 7 of the 2011 World Series between the Cardinals and Rangers. He did say, though, he wore neutral colors to that game. Dwayne?
Want to know, neutral colors. Wow.
He didn't wear red.
He did not wear, like, you go with a green, a beige.
Just wait till we go up there and look at the sea of red.
Oh.
That's unbelievable. The Cardinal fans, I mean, they deck it out when it comes to the Cardinal red.
It reminds me, being a University of Nebraska Cornhusker football fan, the sea of red, Memorial Stadium, same thing. I mean, you look at the big picture view, and it is red everywhere in your face.
Ground ball shortstop. Robertson throws a strike to first. It's a 1-2-3 fourth. Home half of the inning coming, 1-0 Tampa Bay. Go head to head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, weekdays from 9:30 a.m. to noon Eastern, only on FS1. Well, the Rays picked up a run on a sacrifice fly from Daniel Robertson in the second. In the fourth, Corey Dickerson, who scored that run, will lead off. Sucre next, and then Miller third against the right-hander Tom Kohler. Corey Dickerson going after the first pitch, and he lofts a popper. Darwin Barney at second is there and makes the catch. And Dickerson officially 0 for 2 and the first out in the fourth.
Number 45, Jesus Sucre.
Jesus Sucre. First pitch is wide. 1-0. Rays with a run. 2 hits. Blue Jays no runs, 3 hits. On that particular pitch, there were 2 entities calling for Brian Knight, the first base umpire, to rule as to whether he swung or not. And one of them was Sucre.
Yeah.
The ground ball and a base hit out of the reach of Goins. Sucre is 2 for 2.
And very similar to the first at bat. Got a fastball, pulled it in the hole between short and third with authority. But going back to your previous point, Dwayne, you see that a lot. It's like the hitter wants to get the jump to, like, yeah, go ahead. What was it? Because I know he didn't swing, and you're going to tell me that, right? Yeah. You know, you almost like the reverse psychology. Like, just go ahead and confirm I didn't swing for me. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, which would be a no call.
Right. But they're asking. Hey, you want to know? I want to know. Go ahead, because I'm feeling pretty confident.
Brad Miller lofting a high fly ball toward the line and left. Pierce is there to make the catch.
Number 29, Daniel Robertson.
Now Daniel Robertson. You know, if you think about that strike and ball, you know, it can only be a strike if you're going to have it changed.
Yes.
Because if the plate umpire calls it a strike, then you can't appeal it. It's a strike.
Right.
But
Calls
if
it
if it's a ball,
just stay quiet.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's how confident he was. No, yeah. All
Go ahead.
comers. Let's take a little ballot box.
This one is wide. 1-1. Robertson has the run batted in this 1-0 ball game. One ball, 2 strikes.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna switch over in between innings. I may even do it during the inning, just to see Bayern Munich. They're playing Tottenham this afternoon. See if there's any more action in it.
2-2. The count. Hey, there's a run. It's a 1-0 score here.
There's a good chance it's 1-0 there too. Probably the same amount of time played.
Yeah. And a cut and a miss. Robertson out on the fastball. A man left. We're through 4. 1-0 Rays. The 5th inning. Rays pitchers strike out 10 hitters during a home game. Visit CanesStrikeout.com and obtain a printed home voucher to take to any Canes furniture store within 7 days and receive a coupon for a free Whopper sandwich combo meal from Burger King.
Your attention, please. Defensive changes for the Rays. Entering the game and playing shortstop, number 11, Danny Echeverria. Moving from shortstop to second base, number 29, Daniel.
Changes for the Rays defensively. Danny Echeverria in at shortstop, and Daniel Robertson's going to move over to play second base. Brad Miller departs this game, hit in the shoulder by a pitch back in the second, and we're assuming this would have something to do with that. Gil Montero lifts a high fly ball foul. Dickerson runs out of room, but reaching in and cannot come up with it. A souvenir for a fan down there in Ducky's 162 landing.
Good effort here by Corey Dickerson, drawing a bead on it. Wonder if he's going to be able to get there, and that ball ends up a little bit too far away. And let's see, this ball bounce up. Oh, left elbow. That doesn't feel too good. Even though she did make a mad scramble for that ball right after getting hit.
She recovered instantly in pursuit of the souvenir, and good for her. She has a souvenir now. 0-2 the count to Montero. Which is down. Rays have action in the bullpen. Steve Cishek is throwing, was up the right side. Will continue to do that.
Boy, how good has he been for the Rays since coming over?
Boy, excellent.
Yep.
Just excellent out of the bullpen. Still 1-2 the count after that fastball was fouled into the stands.
We got a chance to see him, you know, a couple games here, a couple games there over the course of the last few seasons, but we get a chance to see him with regularity and the consistency that he brings. You know, he's got a difficult delivery to deal with, can create velocity, good breaking ball, and he knows what he's doing with it. Fun to watch.
Two balls, two strikes. Now full count. Ball four. Montero works the walk to open the fifth. And Longoria is going to come in, take a little time with Cobb. It's 10 3-ball counts Cobb has had, and he walks Montero, the first walk he's given up. Ryan Goins, who hit the ball deep down the right side his first time up, and Souza Jr. made a nice running catch. That's a strike. Ground ball sharply hit into right. Montero turns second and stops. And it's first and second. So Goins is aboard, and now the Blue Jays putting together a threat in the fifth.
Now This is a breaking ball here to Goins. It's down and in, and he's able to just drop the barrel on it. And a little bit more of an open right side because of the base runner, and due to having to hold him on, leads to a base hit to right. The only thing that the Rays have going for them right here is with Montero running, and that's a base hit right there that most guys are going to be at first and third. But Montero does not run very well at all, and so he's a station-to-station guy. So you figure in another 2 or 3 hits, and the Blue Jays have a chance at a run, but that's what it's going to take. I mean, or a gapper. So Alex Cobb, who can get the ground ball, has had a number of ground ball double plays this season, 15 as a matter of fact. You still have that in play because it's going to be a 90 feet at a time venture here for the Blue Jays unless they can muster up an extra base hit.
Well, Darwin Barney will be the hitter. He singled in the third. 2 of 4 in his career against Cobb, including a home run. Shows the bunt, takes the bat back, throw back to second. Boy, that was going to be close. The ball pops away. Echeverria taking it. Well, you take liberties with Sucre, and you do at your own peril.
Well, and here's the thing, you run that risk, number one, Dwayne. Number two, Miguel Montero has to get a great jump out there, or the Rays are going to be able to just get him at third base. I already talked about the lack of foot speed. So if the Rays want to play this aggressively, you've got a chance to get him at third. So he's got to be aggressive, then that leads him open to the Sucre throw behind.
And there's the bunt, third base. They have a play
easy
out there.
I don't know why you do that. I mean, that was too easy. And Darwin Barney, he's kind of shaking his head, but they're really, I don't know where he was going to be able to bunt that to get Montero to third base. I mean, this was just too easy, and the Rays did not even have to put on any exotic play. Just go field a bunt, and you get them by a plenty.
So 1 out with men at first and second. Kevin Cash has already come out to make the pitching change. That's it for Cobb. Back in a moment. Top of the fifth. Get a $6 value for $5 when you ask for a grouper from the Florida Lottery. With so many life-changing prizes, get your group ready. The Florida Lottery, it's your ticket. Claim it. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly. Alex Cobb, 4 1/3, coming off the DL. 94 pitches. Walks 1, strikes out 5, gives up 4 hits and leaves with a man on. So 2 outs short of qualifying for a potential win. And Cishek on here with Steve Pearce top of the order, and he shoots one into center. Kiermaier on the run, and he got it. Oh my goodness, what a catch by Kiermaier on the dead run. racing back toward right center field and making a great grab. Fans and teammates on their feet after that catch by Kevin Kiermaier. What a grab.
You know what does it? Watch how he runs. He is going to run and throw the glove up at the last possible second. Boom. That's what did it. If that glove goes up any sooner, he doesn't get there. But he waits till the last second, throws the glove up there, and makes an astounding catch, saving extra bases and saving the Blue Jays from taking the lead.
Hats off from Cishek to Kiermaier, and for good reason. Well, Pierce thought he had an extra base hit, a couple of runs batted in, and Kiermaier had another idea completely.
Wow.
Now there's a strike into Donaldson on the breaking pitch.
You know,
you don't see any better than that.
No.
You see a lot at the wall, leap, maybe glove over the wall. That is a fantastic running catch into a deep part of the park toward right center.
We talk an awful lot about hitters trusting their hands. That is a primo example of a fielder trusting his hands, because if that glove comes up any sooner, it slows you down. You think about running and run with an arm out. You slow down. So he waits till the last possible second, covers as much ground as he can running naturally, and then just flips the glove up there as the ball's going into it. That timing was remarkable.
1-2 here to Donaldson. Maybe a little turf burn there as a souvenir. It's wide. 2-2. Two outs, men at first and second. And did he go? He did not on the appeal. Knight says Donaldson held up, and maybe not. I'll tell you, he got out there right on the edge and appeared to surpass the edge a little bit. It's an edge walker plus right there.
Benefit of the doubt.
And a liner. That ball is fair. Goins will score. Barney's on his way to the plate. He is safe. Donaldson winds up at second. Now it's 2-1 Toronto.
See how close it is. They're going to probably have a look at that, I'm sure.
And the Rays are going to have that one looked at. So they will take a very close look at this call on the line drive by Donaldson.
Oh, what did Commissioner Rob Manfred say yesterday on the plays that matter? This play matters. This is big.
Well, Donaldson out there is going to try to sell it as fair. Boy, a couple right here very close on that check swing gave him the opportunity to extend the at bat. This is going to be very interesting here. Now remember,
you saw a little kick up of the rubber,
yeah,
and a little kick up of white powder too. That's the thing. I mean, you had that mix of the rubber of the turf, but then it looked like a little poof of powder too, which would be the line.
well, they're going to call Donaldson back, and that's going to bring Gibbons out. And so Donaldson will come back. And it's still a 1-0 game, and we'll take another look. So back to first and second go Barney and Goins. Full count on Donaldson. Cishek getting a couple warm-up tosses in before we resume play. So the Rays challenge the double, and it's overturned. So it's still a 1-0 game. Goins on second, Barney at first. 2 outs in the inning and a full count. Donaldson fouls this one back. Top of the 5th, Cishek ready. And that's ball 4 outside. Fastball wide. That will load the bases.
First baseman, Justin Smoke.
And the hitter is going to be Justin Smoke. Donaldson at first, Barney at second, Goins at third. Smoke has struck out and grounded out. The pitch is a ball up. Cishek in the game last night when he pitched the 9th. And this one just misses off the plate. 2-0.
Missed up. They want this ball down, and it is just off.
And now wide. 3 balls, no strikes.
Trying to be careful. Obviously doesn't want to be in the middle of the plate here to Smoke, but doesn't want to walk in and run. So gas him up.
And that's a strike. 3-1. Cishek in relief of Alex Cobb. And now full count. And he got Smoke to chase That pitch was wide.
Man, this is ball 4. Ball 4 the whole way, and Justin Smoak goes after it, and now you've worked yourself back into one more good pitch and put this thing away.
3-2. And a fly ball into center. Kiermaier on the run. Can he get there? Yes, he got there. Kiermaier straight in from center field. Lays it out and makes the catch. And the Blue Jays leave the bases loaded. 2 great catches in the inning by Kiermaier. This one off the bat of Pierce. Reaching out in right center. And then this one with Justin Smoak at the plate. Full count and the bases loaded. Coming straight in. He makes the catch on that one. And we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-0 Rays. Rays lead 1-0. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and apparently if you make 2 great plays defensively, you get the lead off the next half inning. And here's Kevin Kiermaier to lead it off against the right-hander Tom Kohler. One attempt, and that's a strike. Kiermaier, who has had a great return at the plate, coming off the disabled list, making 2 outstanding plays in the top of the 5th in center field. And now he lifts a high fly ball towards center. It's Pilar under it, and he makes the catch for the first out. Well, our Geico moments of the game. The catch by Kiermaier. That one on the ball hit by Pierce, and then the final out lifted into short center by Justin Smoak. And Kiermaier arrived to make the diving grab, laying it out on the turf and preserving a 1-0 lead. There's Lucas Duda. Duda twice has struck out, once swinging, the last time a called 3rd strike. The Rays getting the line drive down the left field by Donaldson. Originally a double, getting that overturned as foul. And then the great catch by Smoak. You talk about a precarious top half of the 5th. And so Cobb who left with a couple men on, did not allow a run in 4 1/3. The strike, it's 3-1. 94 pitches for Cobb. Strike 3 called. Duda out on strikes for the 3rd time. 2 up, 2 down in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, coming all the way back from down 3-0, and he ends up just floating a fastball right there, middle of the plate. And I think Lucas Duda obviously looking for anything but that. You know, the curveball from Kohler has been a pretty good pitch for him for the most part, and that may be something that was in the back of Duda's mind.
Longoria, this is the off-speed pitch, strike 1.
Have not seen many of those, but when we've seen him, it's had some pretty good action on it. The key for Kohler, the only thing that's really hurt him was a couple of times where he has ended up spraying the ball all over the place, really missing his locations.
Shot to right field, Bautista going back. That's over his head, bounding off the wall. Pillar's going to make the pickup, and Longoria has a double. His 32nd 2-base hit of the year, and it comes with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. So here's a 2-out scoring opportunity for the Rays.
Well, when he's gone in, he hasn't always gotten into his spot. A couple have gone up and in. He's a little too careful there. That ball ends up leaking middle. And that's where Jose Bautista, great effort to try to get to it, but doesn't. Rays have a 2-out chance.
Logan Morrison 0 for 2 today. A ball, no strikes. Morrison fouled out to Smoke his last time. Now finds himself ahead in the count. Missed with a fastball from Kohler. Brad Boxberger is up in the bullpen for the Rays down the right field line. Boxberger. Cobb 4 1/3. Cishek got 2 outs in the 5th to finish off the inning. And now it's 3-0 on Morrison. Well, the Rays have left men on base in every inning, including 2 in the inning in which they scored their run, the 2nd. They left single runners in the 1st, 3rd, and 4th innings, and have Longoria at 2nd here in the 5th. There's ball 4. Curveball missing. With 2 men on. Double and a walk after the first 2 had been retired. And the hitter is going to be Souza. And the Blue Jays are going to talk it over on the mound. Tim Meza, the tall lefty, up in the bullpen now for Toronto. Rays with a 2-out threat. And Souza Jr. Oh, and he's hit by that pitch. Souza on the first pitch drilled by Kohler. The bases are going to be loaded.
Kohler's had trouble coming in. We talked about it. It's been a talking point of this game how efficiently Alex Cobb is able to work the inner part of the plate to righties and lefties. Tom Kohler has a tendency to spray the ball around. This one up and in, right off the left shoulder blade of Souza Jr. He got Brad Miller in the top of the right shoulder, trying to come in on him. It's an art. There's no question about it. And Tom Kohler this afternoon is doing some finger painting.
So the bases are going to be loaded. And the hitter will be Corey Dickerson. So the bases are loaded now. Leone, the right-hander, up in the bullpen. And Dickerson, who scored the run after reaching on a fielder's choice in the second, 0 for 2 in this game. Two outs. The Rays have loaded him. Dickerson takes a strike. Blue Jays left the bases loaded in the top of the fifth. It's wide. Ball stayed out there. Big cut right there out in front. It's 1-2.
Boy, he hung a changeup right there. 1-1, left it up. There's the three-finger change at 82. And Corey Dickerson just swoops that swing underneath.
Fouled away. See another 1-2 pitch. Montero to the mound for a visit. Talked with the commissioner about this last night.
Yeah, I'm not sure that he was a fan of all of these visits, and kind of agreed with us as that's what signs are for.
Yep.
You know, there are certain instances where it makes some sense, others where it doesn't. That one, you could maybe sell me. This is a huge spot.
Yep.
There was one the other
Bases loaded,
night.
2 outs.
There was one the other night that it was nobody on first pitch of an inning.
Yes.
Before
What
the
is
first
that?
pitch of an inning, we had a visit.
Don't talk in the dugout.
Please. You're right in the same little area.
Now 2-2 the count to Corey. Longoria doubled with 2 outs. He's at third. Morrison, who walked, is at second. Souza Jr. hit in the left shoulder by a pitch at first. The 2-2 to Dickerson. Upstairs. 3-2.
Boy, Dickerson showing some patience there, but that's a pitch he normally will go after. Maybe trying to rein that strike zone in just a little bit. Should get a pitch to handle here or take your base.
3-2, lined into left, closing its Pierce, and down to his knees he makes the catch, and the Rays leave them loaded as well. On to the 6th, 1-0 Tampa Bay.
Rays go to the average score to stay.
Nothing ball game. Alex Cobb made the start. Found himself with a lot of pitches and a lot of deep counts. Worked 4 1/3. Gave up 4 hits. Left without a chance to win despite leading 1-0. That run came in the 2nd when Daniel Robertson sacrificed fly to left. Scored Corey Dickerson. Blue Jays with a major threat in the 5th inning. They loaded the bases. Justin Smoke's fly ball to center, grabbed by Kevin Kiermaier on his 2nd great catch of the inning. And that one closed out the top of the 5th. So it's 1-0 Rays as we now go into inning number 6. Cobb 4 1/3. Steve Cishek came on, worked 2/3 of an inning. And now it'll be Brad Boxberger enter this game from the bullpen.
On for the 19th time, he's worked 17 1/3 innings, 22 strikeouts, and an opponent's average of 183. And here we go again. The Rays bullpen going to have to eat up some innings here in a very tight game.
There's Bautista. Pitch is a strike. Bautista with a strikeout and a pop to short. 1-1. It's Dan Jennings up in the bullpen for the Rays. Doing 1. Boxberger falling behind, 3-1. Boxberger making his first appearance in this series. He last worked Friday in the Mariners series. Now it's 3-2 with the fastball fouled back.
That's another example right there. Brad Boxberger not at all concerned, challenging Jose Bautista, that 3-1 fastball right out over the plate. You never would have seen that in the last few years.
3-2 and a chopper to short. Echeverria over the top with the throw, and Bautista's out of there. Boy, that's a pretty good example of where Bautista is right now. He got way up in the count, leading off the inning, and Boxberger had no problem challenging him. It gets him on the hopper to short.
There was a time where the 3-1 heaters, you're going to give them 2 of them down and out over the plate. You're asking for a new baseball. And now it's just a different time and a different stage of the season, of the career.
Morales out in front of that changeup. Two-strike count. Leone continues to throw in the bullpen. Ground ball, and right there is Echeverria, shaded toward the middle to begin with, and he makes that play. And Morales 0 for 3 in this game. So 2 up, 2 down. And the hitter will be Kevin Pillar. Pillar is struck out and grounded out. Which is a little low. So says Jim Reynolds. Pillar hit what turned out to be the difference maker last night, a home run. 414 feet. His 13th home run of the year. He's up in the count now, 2-0. And a popper. Robertson out from second to make the catch. A 1-2-3 6. Rays coming in to hit. Sucre will lead off 1-0 Tampa Bay. Bottom of the 6th inning. Commemorate the inaugural Players Weekend, August 25th through the 27th at MLBshop.com, with limited edition Rays jerseys and tees featuring player pick nicknames. Wear the gear the players will wear on field this weekend. Available while supplies last at MLBshop.com. Dominic Leone will take over on the mound. Toronto got 5 innings from Tom Kohler, a run, 4 hits. And Jesus Sucre leads off against Leone. The pitch is down for a ball.
Well, aside from the occasional hiccup in command and having trouble when pitching in, you know, Tom Kohler did everything that John Gibbons and the Toronto Blue Jays would have hoped for. 5 strong innings, just the 1 run. You keep your team in a game, give them a chance to win.
Foul ball back. 1-1.
I'll tell you what did save him. It was good velocity on the heater. He sprinkled in a few strategic changeups as the game went along, but his hook today was very, very good.
3 walks, 7 strikeouts, 2 hit batters.
A strike at the knees, putting Sucre behind in the count. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, and 98 pitches for Kohler. Is on deck to the spot vacated by Brad Miller. Sucre out on strikes.
That at bat right there, and the shot from center field. Jesus Sucre starts to laugh mid-swing, realizing, you know, he's guarding against a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. He gets the breaking ball, and watch the reaction. Not real happy afterwards, but he's like, of course you did.
Here's a fastball fouled right back by Echeverria. A strike on the corner. A couple of mid-90 fastballs, and that one pretty well placed by Leone. It's fouled back into the screen. The Rays hit the road for a lengthy trip. Be heading into St. Louis for 3, Kansas City for 3, and then Chicago against the White Sox for 3, back home on September 4th. One ball, 2 strikes. Rays with 14 home games left after this one. Two balls, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Echeverria is out number 2. Well, he gets you to 2 strikes, and then that slider can be pretty effective.
Well, and he did it quickly too. You get out 0-2, and now you can come with this pitch 2 or 3 times in a row. And while a hitter may show some discipline for the first couple, it's tough to lay off a litany of those sliders, and that one got him.
Daniel Robertson. He was the only run batted into this game on a second inning sacrifice fly.
Remember, we used to see James Shields do that a lot. He'd get ahead of you 0-2 real quick, and then it was change up. Oh, you took 2. That's pretty good. Can you take the 3rd? A lot of times guys couldn't do it.
And a dart on the outside corner at 97.
He's had really good command of that fastball.
Ball and 2 strikes. Barnes has joined Mesa in the bullpen. Mesa, the tall lefty. It's 2-2. And Robertson out on strikes. Leone strikes out the side, and we go to the 5th inning, or the 7th inning, with the score 1-0 Rays. Brought to you by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We're at Tropicana Field, the Rays and the Toronto Blue Jays moving on to the 7th. The Rays scored a run in the 2nd inning, and that has been it. It's 1-0. Montero will lead off here in the 7th against Brad Boxberger, who had a 1-2-3 6th. Good strike 1 on Montero. Goins next, and then Barney. Boxberger got 2 ground balls and a pop-up in the 6th inning. And another foul outside the bag. So it's still 1-2. Longoria pulled way off that bag and the third base line. Montero with the fly ball to left and the walk in the 5th. into center field, and Kiermaier's right there. Kiermaier ranging to his left, actually had to stop. That ball started to slice on him a little bit off the left-handed bat.
You can see him right there showing Souza Jr. exactly what that ball did. You get some funky action on those line drives to center field, tumbling action. Some balls seemingly carry better than others, and then you get the knuckle. And that ball definitely had some action on it.
First pitch is a strike to Ryan Goins. Goins made a bid for an extra base hit back in the third, and Souza Jr. made a nice running catch on a ball headed toward the right field corner. Swinging over that changeup. 0-2 the count. One ball, two strikes. Ezekiel Carrera on deck. Barney due, but Carrera now on deck. Count goes to 2-2 on Goins. And to left, Dickerson will be there to make the grab. 5 up and 5 down against Boxberger. Now Carrera will hit for Barney. Barney had singled and reached on a fielder's choice. And here's Carrera, the left-handed bat against Boxberger. Is a ball, 1-0. Toronto had that big opportunity in the 5th inning when they left the bases loaded. A couple interesting plays and a couple of interesting calls in the 5th inning. There is a foul ball up the right side. Brian Knight on that call to take the count to 2 balls, 2 strikes. Romo in the bullpen. Two and a liner that ricochets off Boxberger. It rolls toward first, and an attempt at a tag by Duda, and Carrera gets in there. That ball back at Boxberger and deflected off the Rays right-hander toward the first base bag.
Like kind of almost a change-up line drive. You can see almost a double clutch there by Boxberger. That ball off the glove over to Duda. Now he's going to snatch it, look for the tag, wheels around.
And did the Rays get the tag? The call is saved by Brian Knight. And the Rays looking for a potential opening to have the umpires look at this play.
They may be asking about in the baseline too. You see that left foot of Carrera, the cut of the grass. His left foot right there made it inside the cut. I don't think they got the tag there, and he gets to the bag. They're going to look at something.
Well, they're going to talk about the runner's lane there.
Yeah.
And we'll see what comes out of that. So right now, Carrera is safely in at first. And he left the runner's lane before Duda moved into the lane trying to tag him. And that's going to be the argument for the Rays right there. He leaves and is well inside and out of the runner's lane. And you know, you occasionally see that call made for apparently no good reason. And so we'll see what they do with the call here. So the call safe at first. Boxberger waiting as they deliberate this challenge. Rays challenged the Donaldson double up the left field line in the 5th inning and had it overturned as a foul ball. He eventually walked to load the bases, and a great catch in center by Kiermaier, and a ball hit to center by Smoke into that inning when the Blue Jays left the bases loaded. So the Rays were successful in a challenge that kept Toronto off the bases, because as it stood, the potential double by Donaldson would have made it a 2-1 game. Toronto back in the 5th. Now the Blue Jays have an initial safe call on this by Carrera. And while it appeared that they missed the tag, when did Carrera leave the runner's lane? And let's see if there's one where it appears that they actually also got the tag. And take a look at the jersey right there. And I think you can see a potential there for a tag now. Is it conclusive? Because the Rays are going to have that burden of proof on them to get it overturned. And they must be breaking this one down frame by frame. I think we have a decision. And safe is the call at first. So it stands. It is not confirmed. It stands. And right there is the brush. And it appeared that there was contact and the tag made. But the call stands. And the Rays are going to make a pitching change here. Back in a moment. Call to the bullpen brought to you by the Florida Lottery.
innings pitched, ERA 2.40, 12-1 strikeout to walk ratio, very, very good. And he's going to go up against Steve Pearce here. Leadoff hitter for the Blue Jays.
Pearce has a 2-for-3 day going. He was victimized on a great running catch in the 5th inning by Kiermaier out there in center. And the pitch is a strike. Pearce tried to get time. It was never granted. And he took the pitch for strike 1. And so it's an 0-1 count.
Well, Sergio Romo had taken an awful long time. So Steve Pearce asked for time, and Jim Reynolds did not grant it. Just as simple as that. Doesn't have to.
Correa, the runner at first.
You know, hitters want to stay in rhythm. Base runners want to stay in rhythm as they take their lead off. And, you know, sometimes a pitcher, big spot, hold the ball a little bit longer. Try to get that runner to sink into his heels. You try to get the batter uncomfortable. That's why Pearce asked for time.
This one skied toward left. Dickerson into left center is there making the catch. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. Rays lead 1-0.
Well, the big story this afternoon is up in Detroit. Bottom of the 6th inning, Tommy Kahnle throwing behind Miguel Cabrera. More to that story. He's going to get thrown out of that game. Joe Girardi goes absolutely crazy. Austin Romine, the catcher there, he's not real happy either. Miguel Cabrera gets back into the box. He confronts Romine behind the plate, and it leads to this. Boy, everybody getting involved here. Earlier in the game, Gary Sanchez had homered. 3rd time, at least the 3rd time in that series. Michael Fulmer hit him. That's when warnings were issued, and that's when Kahnle got tossed, and it led to this mess.
Yeah, Cabrera wound up on the middle of that pile. Actually, in the middle and right down at the bottom.
Going to be down there. Not for very long, anyway.
In this one, the Rays have a 1-0 lead. And Tim Mesa is the 3rd pitcher of the day for Toronto, with the top of the order, Kevin Kiermaier, leading off. And he takes the first pitch a little close. Kiermaier 0 for 3 today. Reeve Snyder in the game at second base. Barnes lifted for the pinch hitter. The chopper and foul. 1-1. Stumbling out of the batter's box and apparently turning an ankle. And that that one close. It's 2-1. It's out of play. The count is 2-2. Who was in the game for an inning and a third Tuesday. Gave up a couple of hits but no runs. And as Kiermaier reaching, he's out on strikes for the third time. It's 11 strikeouts for Toronto pitching.
Mesa's got a lively arm, good fastball, and then a slider here. Able to just move that thing down and off the plate.
Kohler had 7 strikeouts. Leon struck out the side in the 6th. Now strikeout of Kiermaier by Mesa. So the last 4 hitters have struck out in succession for the Rays. And Duda's up here. He has struck out 3 times today and down 0-1. There's a line drive and it's caught. Oh, Donaldson timing his leap perfectly to prevent Duda from getting that line drive over his head.
Well, you got the shift on. Everybody moved over to the right side. Josh Donaldson, last man standing, playing up the middle for a shortstop, and they have him placed perfectly. And he's able to get there right at the apex of the leap. Makes the backhanded stab.
There's Evan Longoria. He takes a strike. One and one. Two balls and a strike. Now the fastball is by Longoria. Two and two. The count is now full. Morrison on deck. Fouled. Strikes. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays and the 7th. On to inning 8, 1-0 Tampa Bay. Kevin Kiermaier, after an outstanding evening at the plate last night with a couple of home runs and a base hit, walk, and a stolen base, has had a great day in center field today. He's been all over the place as the Rays hold this 1-0 lead moving into the 8th, and it's Josh Donaldson to lead it off against Sergio Romo. Takes the first pitch outside. Smoke will be next, and then Bautista. The Rays have Colomé up in the bullpen. And that's a strike. The Rays actually had Colomé loosening in the bottom of the 7th, so he would be at the ready in the right field bullpen. Ground ball foul. Rays have been protecting this 1-run lead since the 2nd inning. Scored on the sacrifice fly by Daniel Robertson. Near miss right there. 2-2. Romo came on in the 7th. He got Pierce on a fly ball to left. And the count is full. Now the 3-2. And a shot to center field. Kiermaier to the warning track with a couple steps left. Makes the catch. Donaldson hit it deep to center. Kiermaier with about 2 steps left before he hit the wall.
Fastball middle belt, and Josh Donaldson doesn't quite get enough of it. Hit it good, not good enough. Already playing deep, just a matter of tracking it, putting it away.
Here is Justin Smoke. Pitch is a little wide. 1 ball, no strikes. Smoke victimized in the 5th. The great catch. Kiermaier coming in center field. That left the bases loaded. Smoke out in front, 1-2. Smoke with 1 hit in this series, and that was the home run last night. Foul ball. The count remains 1-2. There's a chop at second base. And Smoke is out of there. The Rays had Longoria over there at that second base spot. and he made the play, so that goes 5-3. Tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show again presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers, and Jake Odorizzi returns home. Grew up just across the Mississippi River from St. Louis, and it's Players Weekend when the Rays take on the Cardinals in St. Louis. Now Jose Bautista going outside. Bautista struck out, popped out, and grounded out. Cobb worked 4 1/3. Cishek 2/3. Boxberger an inning and 2/3. Romo 2 outs into the 8th after getting the last out in the 7th. And that one drops off just down and away. 3-0 count. Morales is on deck. Nothing pitch. That's a strike. Bautista had a base hit last night. It's his 1 hit in the series, and lifts it toward the line and left. It's Dickerson under it, and he makes the catch. 1-2-3 against Romo. Go the Blue Jays. 1-0 Tampa Bay. Inside look, and some great handiwork by Kevin Kiermaier in center field, and they both came inside the 5th, robbing Steve Pearce there for the 2nd out of the inning. And with the bases loaded, here's out number 3. That sliding catch in center on the ball, lifted by Justin Smoke. A great defensive day for Kiermaier. And here is Logan Morrison. Tries to check. That's a strike. 2. Ball, 2 strikes to Morrison. Morrison is out on strikes. It's 3 strikeouts for the lefty Mesa. And 6 strikeouts in the last 7 hitters faced by the Toronto bullpen. John Gibbons comes to the mound. He's going to make another change here. 1 out, nobody on in the 8th inning with the right-handed bat of Souza. Call of the bullpen brought to you by the Florida Lottery. B. Mason. Richard Orestes will be along. Break down the defensive work of Kevin Kiermaier. We'll hear from Kevin Cash and interviews from the clubhouse courtesy of Alex Cordry. Danny Barnes takes over, 1 out into the bottom of the 8th, and here's Steven Souza Jr. Pops it up, foul ball out of play, strike 1. Souza walked, struck out, and was hit by a pitch.
Barnes on for the 47th time, and the Rays, I'll tell you, they could use a little insurance run here, a little bit of a cushion. This has been a 1-0 game for far too long.
1-1.
It seems like Barnes too is in just about every single game between these two teams.
Every time we play him, he's either in the bullpen warming up or in the game.
Yeah, I mean every time. You're right. Maybe it's a clause in the contract. He hasn't been in that many games. Half of them have been against the Rays, apparently. Well, he's done a nice job for John Gibbons.
Souza strikes out. Well, the strikeout parade continues. That's now 7 of the last 8 hitters have struck out against the Blue Jays bullpen.
Well, Leone was spot on with the fastball. Down and away, 95, 96. Mesa, he was filthy. great fastball with the velocity, and the slider was very good. I mean, they brought some guys in out of the pen after Kohler that have been razor sharp.
There's a strike to Dickerson. Rays with a run, 4 hits. No runs, 5 hits for Toronto. And now 14 strikeouts for Blue Jays pitching in this game. It's fouled back, 1-2. Every spot in the Rays lineup has struck out except for Dickerson. Miller was hit by a pitch, hit a fly ball to left, and then Echeverria went into his spot in the lineup and he struck out. Two to Dickerson. Wide there. 3-2. Jesus Sucre is on deck. Fly ball center field. That will send Pilar back to the wall, and that one is out of here. Home run to center field. Dickerson on a 3-2 pitch hits one out, and the Rays get an additional run. His 24th home run of the year. Yellow batting gloves.
Insurance run.
And it's 2-0 Tampa Bay.
Got him to a full count. Laid off the fastball away off, got a change up middle down. He goes and gets underneath it. That's the key. Go down and get it's one thing. Go down, get underneath that pitch. Go.
Sucre takes a strike. Tom Foley congratulating Dickerson on the home run to center. Now a 1-1 count. And now Sucre sends a high fly ball left center. Pilar's over there and he'll make the catch as he crisscrosses with Pierce. And we're going to go to the 9th. The Rays have a 2-run lead. Morales, Pilar, and Montero due up in the 9th for Toronto. Rays carry a 2-0 lead into the 9th inning. Peter Borges will take over defensively for the Rays in left. And on the mound for the Rays, Alex Colomé. Each team with 5 hits. The Rays with the only 2 runs in this game. And leading off is Kendrys Morales here in the 9th inning for Toronto. Pitch is a strike. Rays closed out the Seattle series, shutting out the Mariners 3-0. They split the first 2 here with the Blue Jays, and a base hit into left by Morales to start the 9th inning. Well, more of the big story coming in that Yankee Tiger fracas, and that's McCann hit in the head. Betances hit him. Well, they've already had one giant brawl up there, and the Tigers and the Yankees still out there on the field. And some bad blood in that game now. There's a strike to Kevin Pillar.
And not something at all that you see a whole lot of anymore, but how in the world do you get that calmed down? Already saw the ejections in the big brawl, and then you got Betances.
Pillar lifting a fly ball to right. Souza Jr.'s there to make the catch. Yeah, that's some dangerous stuff.
Well, and the way that it continued, the way that you had the early, hit by pitch, warnings, throw behind, brawl, it's continued on. I'm sure that you're going to see some significant suspensions to try to not allow that to happen anymore. We'll see.
Here's Miguel Montero, 0 for 2 with a walk. Taps it foul. Betances has been ejected in that game. It's tied 6-6 in the bottom of the 7th inning in Detroit. And 0-2. Should the Rays close this one out, they lead 2-0, 1 on, 1 out in the 9th. Cobb worked 4 1/3, so the winning pitcher will be determined by the official score. Colomé, in any case, trying to close it out. Cishek pitched 2/3, Boxberger an inning and 2/3, and Romo an inning and a 1/3. A little tapper foul here. Montero still up with a 2-strike count. Ryan Goins is on deck. There's a situation where the starter has to go 5. Maybe in this situation he should be considered, but by rule he cannot be. And a swing, and just a little piece of that one, a foul ball. He stays alive. Still 2 strikes. Getting word they're leaning towards Cishek right now as the pitcher of record. Pitch misses. Another single. Pilar hit the fly ball to right, caught by Souza Jr. It's a 1-2 count. And that's down to take it to 2-2. Scoreboard has 3-2, but it's a 2-2 count. And that is strike 3 call. 2 gone. 2 outs with a man at first. Montero taking a call, 3rd strike.
Right at the top of the zone. A little cutter here from Colome. Boom. See Sucre able to get on top of that baseball, snatch it down even a little further, and you get the call. 2 outs.
Here's Ryan Goins. Goins has a hit in this game. And there's strike 1. Braves staff after 6th shutout of the year, and they're an out away from it. One and one.
If they're able to close this thing out, what a job by the bullpen.
Yep.
You know, their starter only going 4 1/3, and a pitch count is what got Alex Cobb 19 days. It was between starts, and that pitch count got high very quickly, a lot of deep counts, so he was able to go 4 1/3 of shutout. But now you got to cover 4 2/3 on the back end. So far, so good.
And a 2-1 count on Goins. Tapper foul. 2-2. Braves have shutouts over Baltimore, the Angels, the Red Sox, Houston, Seattle earlier on this homestand, and they need one more out to close it out against Toronto. And there it is. He strikes him out, and the Rays get a combination shutout and defeat the Toronto Blue Jays. It's a 2-0 final. Cishek will get the win, and a save for Colome. He tops in the major leagues. 2-0 the final. For Brian Anderson and Alex Cordray, Dwayne Statch, hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Rays Live, the postgame presented by WB Mason is next.